Hi, I'm teacher Esther. I'm a private tutor teaching primary Chinese. I recommend you to start using this handbook for revision. When I was in NUS, I majored in statistics. Hi, I'm teacher Esther. I'm a private tutor teaching primary Chinese. I was an MOE teacher for 5 years before I became a full-time tutor in 2014. When I was in NUS, I majored in statistics. I participated in the Community Service Club where I first interacted with children from underprivileged families and children with special needs. So after I graduated, I was working in the public sector for 2 years and I was working on volunteer-related projects. There, I worked with children from underprivileged families. All along, I've loved working with children because I find them pure at heart and I wish to be someone who can mold their future for them. So I went into MOE, and when I was offered a position to teach Chinese, I was very happy, even though it was not something that I majored in, because I'm very happy at the fact that I was given this chance to teach and interact with the children on a daily basis, impacting their lives. Currently, I give one-to-one tuition and small group classes for my students. All along, I've been teaching primary Chinese, but this year, I've started group class for secondary school level. This is due to the many requests from my students who wanted to continue lesson with me after they graduated in P6. So the response has been very good. I intend to open more classes next year. As a private tutor, I believe making Chinese IS. I stands for interesting and S stands for simple. This is because many of my students come from English-speaking background and they find learning Chinese a challenge. So my utmost importance is to let them find Chinese interesting and simple enough to learn. Okay, I need to increase their interest in the language, so I need to motivate them to revise Chinese regularly. In order to do that, I do a weekly assessments on their learning using a word cards pairing. Okay, this is a more interesting kind of assessment on them, so they find it very interesting, and because it's bite-sized and digestible, they find it enjoyable too. And many of the students find it very effective and they find it very motivating to learn their vocabularies. So after using the cards to assess their learning, I will ask them to do some assessment books so that they can practice what they have learned. When they are able to answer the questions correctly, this will increase their sense of satisfaction in the language. If you are finding Chinese learning a challenge, it is most likely that you do not recognize many vocabularies. As such, I recommend you to start using this handbook for revision. Okay, treat it like a scripture for martial arts, which I call it the 武林秘籍. You should start revising the following. For each vocabulary, learn how to pronounce the words by referring to the Hanyu pinyin. Also, do learn the meaning in Chinese or English. And thirdly, if you find learning sentences a challenge, try learning at least 1 or 2 correlation, which I call it the 搭配. Okay, in that case, you'll be able to apply what you have learned. After doing all these 3 steps, the most important and most crucial step is to do regular revision. Make it a consistent one. Okay, you can also assess your learning by using HYQ word cards, which I mentioned earlier. For more information, you can refer to my website at www.hyqeducation.com. Okay, besides this, you should try to use the words that you have learned in your daily activities, like when you're conversing with other people, like your family members or your friends. You can also watch some Chinese edutainment shows or listen to some Chinese songs. I have been teaching for more than 13 years now, and I have been using these books for more than 13 years already. Okay, I prefer using this series of books because it contains all the important information that's needed for our students to score well for examinations such as PSLE and O-level. Students are being taught using the textbook in schools. Each year, they have between 10 to 20 chapters of vocabularies to learn. This vocab handbook provides all the information that's needed for them. So, and this book has all the vocabularies being sorted out according to the chapters, which is very neat and tidy. So I prefer using this book. There are many resources out in the market, but I find this series of books the most comprehensive and accurate. It contains all the vocabularies that are being taught in the textbook, and it contains very important information such as Hanyu pinyin, Chinese meaning, synonyms, words with different pronunciations and words with different meanings. All these are necessary for our students to learn because they are being tested in the national exams. It will be tested in the oral, it will be tested in the paper. So it improves the competencies of our students. I will touch on the 3 most important features that I always use in my teaching. First one is the pronunciation of the words. Hanyu pinyin. Hanyu pinyin is being provided in the vocabulary handbook, and students can use it as a reference. After lesson or after tuition, students tend to forget how to pronounce the words, so they can use it as a own reference to learn the words independently. Secondly, the book includes clear and concise explanation in English and Chinese. These meanings enables our students to understand the vocabulary better and be able to apply what they learned effectively in their examination. Thirdly, this book includes the very examples of the vocabulary usage. It also includes the different pronunciation of a word that will be used. So when students are going for exams, for oral exams, they're being tested on this. This is definitely very useful for our students. Many parents have feedback that this series of books have improved their children's competencies and confidence in the language. They also feedback that the information inside allows their children to learn beyond the textbook. Some of the parents also mentioned that it is very compact and handy, easy for storage as well as for being around. I had 3 students who were in P2 when they first came to me. They were from English-speaking background. They were able to write the Chinese words, but unable to tell me the pronunciation as well as the meaning of the words. As such, their parents are very worried because they are unable to understand the passages in the comprehension. So in this case, I started using this series of handbook to teach them. Consistent exposure to the vocabularies in the handbook helped them tremendously. By the time they reached P6, they were able to answer all the MCQ questions correctly. So after which, I recommended them to continue using this series of books in secondary level. Actually, learning Chinese is not as intimidating as you think it is. It can be very interesting and simple if you make consistent effort. Remember, take a step each day and your worries will go away. I strongly recommend all students to start using this series of handbooks. They are available on the SAP website and they are also available in any popular bookstores. If you are interested to find out more about my tuition lessons and my work cards, you may visit my website at hyqeducation.com. I'll be happy to answer your queries.